We'll leave that until I get a chance to pull that water out. How much damage do I take from this? What the hell? Well, that's new. I don't remember that happening. I thought at first I was dead. As soon as I started to ragdoll up and it switched that camera, I looked at my health bar and went, oh, okay, I'm not going to die. Is it a one-time thing, or does it do that every time you whack it with a pickaxe? I don't see any damage on it either. Apparently it's every damn time now. When did that change? It went from a shock to an explosion? That's some bullcrap. Now, I want that space. There's got to be a way of getting rid of it without wrecking the whole area. I don't want to do general explosives. Can you use the safe opening explosives on it? Bust the floor below it? I think it's attached to the wall. I think it'll stay attached unless I dig out 3 different tiles. And even then, I'm not sure it would drop out. And to get at those 2 back tiles, I'd have to get rid of at least one of the side tiles to be able to see it. I might have to bring up a debug gun to shoot it, because it's just silly that you can't get rid of these things. Well, that's a lot of food we just wasted with all that damage, unless I use one of my precious, precious heals. I'll do 1 heal as payment for my experiment. Yeah, I have no idea when they changed that. It used to be you would just get shocked. Wonder why they changed it. Alright. We'll leave it over there for now. How are we doing? 3 more minutes. So, we got the bottom area pretty clean. We got that area pretty clean. I guess, how much water was in that? 20 something? I haven't made a bucket yet. I don't have enough bottles to deal with that. I guess I could do a few at a time to empty it, but let's not worry about that. Can you shoot it with arrows? It doesn't show that it's taking any damage. I don't think it's taking any. I mean, I've hit it with a pickaxe, I've hit it with a wrench, and there's no damage indicator. So, I don't think shooting it's going to do anything. I mean, let's back up a little bit. Yeah. So, I do. I got a lot of bars. I got a lot of bottles, but I need to make sure I keep them available in case I need to do other stuff. There's no particular rush to grabbing that water over there, so. Alright. I guess chopping trees would be good. I'm down to 5 logs. Whoa! Hey, buddy. Didn't make it through by much. At this point, these guys dropping in is just a bone delivery system for my mortar and pestle. There haven't been any Horde Night changes in the last 8 months, no. If you're talking about in the mod, there haven't been any changes like that. When you say the explosive throwers, are you saying that there was a problem because of how difficult they made it, or because the game ran so poorly because they were throwing stuff and exploding stuff constantly? I'm not sure if which problem you were encountering. Was it just a difficulty thing, or was it an actual performance of the game problem? 2 minutes on that. Nothing there. Nothing there. Yeah, I need to go chop some trees. Bunch of trees. So we can finish getting my storage stuff done. So, let's do that for a couple minutes while we wait for this to finish up. Yeah, I have not tried building a Horde base to defend and fight out of in this mod. I've just never seen the point or purpose to it. So, it's a little different for me in my perspective. So I don't know how bad those guys dig through bases. And what you can do to counter it, because I haven't actually tried setting up a Horde Knight base, kind of the killing thing. So, I would assume there's ways to counter it, because I haven't seen too many people complaining about that on the Discord. So there's got to be ways to deal with it. I'm not sure just what level of damage they kind of are pesky at. Are you building your base out of wood, out of cobblestone, out of concrete, steel? How many of those guys were you facing? And, you know, the answer to they're doing too much damage is, you know, kill them faster. So they don't have an opportunity. Steel? They're digging through steel? That seems a little weird. Ah, I got another tree kill. Love killing zombies with trees. Uh-oh, sun's up already. Yeah, you guys were way, way further in than I've ever gotten. I can't stay in the game world long enough to get anywhere near that kind of a day, so I don't know how bad the hordes were and how many and their strengths. Playing solo, I always run out of stuff to do way, way before that. How many people were in your group generally? Yeah, 99% of the time I play permadeath. Four. So yeah, several things that I haven't experienced to really have a feel for what you guys were feeling. I know in multiplayer it ratchets up the numbers and strength levels of the enemies and all that. The Blood Moons that I've seen have been fairly tame in the numbers and enemy types. I always have to play ultra cautious because I'm playing permadeath, so, you know, I avoid fighting as much as possible, especially on the Blood Moons, until I'm kind of late in the run and ready to basically just about call it quits. Then I'll do run and gun down on the ground or stuff like that. But one of my big issues, I don't like to do things just to do them. I prefer there to be a point to doing it if I'm going to do an activity. So what I mean by that is, like this first Blood Moon that's going to happen tonight, I could try to build a defensible position and fight the zombies. The problem is, why should I bother? I'm not really going to get any loot out of it. I'm just going to... It's all risk and no reward. I can just squat on a roof and ignore it. Mostly ignore it. You got to be careful of the birds. And the bonus wave of either spiders or birds. But I can just sit on a building and ignore it, because in this mod, you always have zombies nearby. You're always fighting zombies constantly. So who cares if for 13 and a half hours, I'm constantly fighting zombies whenever I want. Why do I care for 30 minutes out of those 13 and a half or 14 hours? Why do I care killing another 20 or 30 or 50 zombies? Because you don't get anything. I mean, if I want to level up my weapons, I'm doing that all week anyway. I might get a few loot bags, but I'm going to get loot bags all week anyway. There's just no reason to. So I wish there was some incentive to actually fighting the hordes. I mean, beyond, you know, it's boring to sit on a roof. So, you know, depending on what you're playing permadeath or not, you're playing multiplayer or not, you can make your own decisions on what you want to do and how you want to do it, but I'm not sure they're going to let me loot this bag with the spikes there. Oop. Oop. Come on. Where was it? There's a magic pixel spot where there it is. I hate it when the bags are on the spikes. What do we got? Some vitamins, some books I don't care about, and a few bullets. Alright. Let's hop back in. But yeah, from a permadeath gameplay standpoint, yeah, I can't risk it. Especially when I'm playing on my usual settings, where I'm on like survivalist difficulty, sprint speed for all the zombies, permadeath. You just can't take those risks. So having something be all risk and no reward, it just doesn't, the math doesn't work out. Okay, done here. Okay, so scrap spear, just scrap metal, pitch, and leather. Only 1,200. Ouch. I can get one more level. I didn't think those guys did that much block damage, though. And I don't think they have variants, so I just can't see how they're burrowing through steel. I might have to set up a test world and summon some of those guys to see how that works, because that just seems really strange to me. If there were like radiated versions, are there radiated versions? That I don't know what day you said. You mentioned what day you were, but were you in the forest biome or were you in the wasteland biome at that day 150? Makes a big difference. And were there variants of them, or were they just their same basic things? I don't think there's variants of those guys. And it just boggles my mind that they would be digging through steel at any kind of decent rate. Okay, so let's pull my fire mod off. I'm not gonna go back to you, so I'll scrap you. Anything else I need to do to prep for the Blood Moon? I just basically need to make sure I have a decent amount of arrows. Other than that, it's not really too tough. If we get the Air Force, we'll either arrow our way through them or just circle shiv. I'm a little worried that short building is going to let a lot of spiders over if we get a spider wave. So I'll have to make sure I take plenty of Mega Crush just in case we have to go scrambling. Am I carrying a bunch? A few. We'll slim down. I grabbed a bunch of pitch to make my spear as well, so... I don't actually need any repair kits with me. We're not... well, no, I need it for my wrench. So, you know, we'll just carry one. And I don't need the pitch with me either right now. Just a few for repairing the tools. Alright, so let's make sure we have more arrows, though. I got about 85 right now, so let's get that locked in. Do I have any... let's see... Not steel, so nothing there. Nope, we don't need that anymore for arrows anyway. That and that, that's what I was looking for. We're going to be using these for a while. Let's do another 200. And then I need boards, which we just made a bunch of. That'd be 500 shafts. Nah, give me 200. Yeah, so we got 190 arrows or feathers, so that'll be good. 200 arrowheads, 200 shafts. That'll work. Then give me... Oh, we're almost out of nails, too. Yeah, I don't have much input on that situation. I just haven't had that come up in my own play to offer an opinion. Short of learning their movement paths and then setting up specific defenses to counter them, like turrets and so on. The trick to all the Horde bases, no matter what, universal truth, is always give them a path and then control that pathing. So if you see them constantly digging through to you from a certain direction, then, you know, dig that out yourself and then trap it. So it's always going to be wherever you decide to set up your base, watch the behavior of the zombies, and then adapt your setup to take advantage of the pathing or create the pathing you want them to use. So that kind of universally is true for all of that stuff. It gets especially confusing or problematic for doing underground bases because they tend to dig where you don't want them, and it's harder to control that pathing. So most of the underground base type things have a central drop shaft that you want to leave available to make sure they all funnel into that so they don't go randomly digging other places. But 99% of base building is understanding zombie pathing and controlling that to your advantage. Everything else is kind of secondary. Once you get that skill down and that experience learned, then you can start playing around and figuring out the best way to optimize things for different base arrangements. But it's always all about pathing, zombie pathing. It's the number one problem or advantage that the player has, is knowing how they work and setting up advantageous solutions. That's going to take a while. Might have to just let that run. Finish building this stuff. Yeah, I'm always amused by the stone throwers is what most people that I remember call them, but they like to run right up to be nose to the wall, and then they throw their stone and it explodes and they kill themselves. That's always amusing. Yeah, I can see that might be an issue with them. If they're just randomly spawning and then coming straight in, totally ignoring movement and just burrowing through everything, that could definitely be a problem. It really, again, depends, though, on your base setup, how you've got it organized, what kind of base you're building. Knowing that that's an issue, I would not design certain types of bases. And that's the only way I can think of to get around that, if that's truly what they're doing. Just totally ignoring movement pathing and just coming straight in and just destroying things on their way in. In that circumstance, I would probably be going for stilt basing. My old traditional tower base, where I do a moat around it and then do a stilt tower and have all sorts of outward facing turrets and electric wire lines and so on. Because they do have to get within a certain range before they start throwing. And if you've got a lot of outward facing defenses and you can see in 360 degrees, and then people that are in the tower can be specifically sniping just those guys and letting the static defenses handle most of the rest. So I do agree it's a problem, but it's a problem that if once you've tested it and you understand their behavior, I think you can base build around it specifically, if that's the only thing kind of holding back. Have you seen my old tower bases? The kind of nine prong vertical towers? I haven't done one in quite a while. Some of the older series featured it a lot. Back I don't think I've done much of it since. I think I did some in 1.0. And then a bunch pre 1.0. Only the Afterlife stuff? Yeah. You'd have to go back to my older stuff to see it. And I don't remember which. I stopped putting a lot of my 7 Days to Die play up on YouTube quite a while back. It doesn't get as much interest on YouTube. But I know I do have some out there. Problem with Afterlife is it's just so hard to build until late game. In vanilla, you can do a lot of early game building stuff and horde base defense locations and so on. It's so much harder to do in Afterlife. $50 more seconds. Yep. Wow. Our hunger is really dropping. I really, really, really need to get a hold of that stupid frying pan. Cannot believe I still don't have the frying pan. I won't force you to listen to that. Okay. So 150, and that's another 130, 140. So we got almost 300 iron arrows available. Let's put those in there. And we're building more than enough. Alright, so we'll just carry what we're building here. And we've stockpiled a bunch that we'll take some with us for the Blood Moon. I think we're all set to go up and about. Use up the rest of the daylight, continuing to try to hit restaurants or any other opportunities. What kind of honey? Regular honey. And you can just stay there for now. Oh, I need to get down to Bergknir. I marked Bergknir. Yeah, right down there. Let's go down to Bergknir first. That one's a nice easy one to get straight into the kitchen and the finale. And we'll work our way back this direction for all these restaurants here. Actually, the passing gas, the little food service area on the left has a food box, and there's also some ovens that might give us something we can use. Where are you at? Where are you at? Gotta get some spear practice in. Punk. Come on, Shamley. I'm not sure. Can you get a frying pan out of these food boxes? I don't remember if I've ever gotten one out of one of those. I only remember getting frying pans out of these kinds of cardboard boxes. At least that's the most common place I get them. Same thing with ovens. I don't remember getting them out of ovens. Alright, we had 2 opportunities. We got a farming book, and that's pretty much it. And a couple of cookbooks. That's cool. We've got 2 of those. I'm not going to worry about picking any more up. Oops, I forgot to unload the bike. Bad, Vormithrax. Bad. Guess since we're hauling logs... Alright, there's Poopy Pants. Do we try for another hat while we're over here? Let's try for another hat. That's the one we can't use. Oh, thanks game for giving me the hat that doesn't work. We'll have to test that one. All right, now we got 2 to try. And we grab all the tools. We've already got a hammer. We've already got a wrench. I'm going to leave that. I know it's here. Hey, I can ride without having the goofy stuff. Cool. All right, so that hat worked. There's Bird Kinnear. No Mega Crush. So powerful, getting that full stamina refresh per kill, especially at this early stage. Gives you so many options. Alright, let's knock through this thing. And we're in the finale room. I'm not sure I need spikes for this. Really depends on if there's any ferals. So we'll get a look at who spawns. And I might just try to line them up and get the multi-puncture with the spear. We'll see how it goes. Well, wake up, everybody. Who do we got? No ferals? No ferals. Ran out of stamina. Didn't get the kill. Didn't get the kill again. Oh, the timing. See? The fire killed him. Between the fire and the bleed, I'm not getting any of the spear kills. Finally. Way late. The dual problem. Either the fire kills them, the bleed kills them, and then I get no stamina refresh. 3 water. A beaker. Wheel, please. Mini bike part. Neither. Nope. Don't care about robot parts. Stop giving me beanies. That's a nice haul of medicine. So, almost no food boxes here in this restaurant, huh? Yeah, we gotta get rid of some weight. I think that's all I'm gonna worry about here. Still no frying pan. Can you use that barrel in the distillery? I mean, wooden barrels are all over the place. They're easy to grab. And we're a long way from the distillery. I don't remember. Does it use the wooden barrel? Yeah, you grab a wooden barrel and then you have to craft it into a wine barrel, which doesn't. It's just a straight conversion. Just takes a second or two. Doesn't require anything special. It just converts it over to the crafting item that's needed. But yeah, eventually I'll need one. The difficulty is going to be, I've got this run going, and on Monday 2.0 drops, and I know people are going to want to take a look at it and watch me play a bit of it. So I don't generally like having multiple... I think I just ran over a zombie. I don't usually like having multiple runs of the same game going. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not too excited about 2.0 personally. Whee! Yeah, definitely not going to be able to carry all that. A lot of medical supplies that time. No. So don't need the duplicate hat anymore. Yeah, I should test that hat too, because it's better mobility, stamina regen, which is the primary thing I care about. Better on cold and heat resist, so we'll see if that one has the problem. I suspect it does. Get this banged open and tossed over into the forge so we can melt down these 2 boxes. I mean, okay. I don't care about the rest of this stuff. And remember, I don't really need to switch to my torch when I'm here in the base. I just need to keep my spear equipped. $18. Actually, a lot of coal just to burn these. Yeah, go ahead. get the rest of the stuff before I forget again. Let's keep a little bit for fire in general and turn the rest into boards. More and more boards. Probably should carry... I'm not going to worry about it. I've never had a problem with fuel. Just going to ignore it for now. Four, 5, so that means I need 4 more after this batch. I think we'll be done. Yeah, I think that ends up being more than enough because I use those for the food, drink, and medicine, and then I usually put chem over there. And 1 over there for the distillery. Yeah. So, 1 more batch, I think. What do we run out of? I assume lumber again. Yeah, lumber again. So, 1 more good tree run, I think will be okay. That should be the last batch of nails I need to worry about for a while. Let's go test this hat. I would rather be wearing that hat. I guess it helps if we actually put that hat on. Looks like we're okay. Alright, cool. All right. Think I'm going to stop there for the moment. I need to go take a break and get some lunch, do a few things around the house. I shall return a little bit later, most likely, and we will continue.